when you talk about making better decisions, what kind of examples can you talk about, like where a business looked at how to make a decision, right? How did they make the decision? Because that's the key to this, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And everything that we do in our life, you do it in your personal life, you do it in your business life, everything has an ROI on it. I'm making a choice right now to spend time with you as compared to any number of hundreds of dozens or whatever it is that I could be doing in lieu of this. And that's the kicker, is that when we find opportunities, that we have to figure out how to rapidly make better decisions and make better choices based on the ROI. And when we do that at a micro scale, so what we're really talking about is talking about the quality of the decisions that we make. And this is the advocation, is that people just rapidly move through it. And they don't actually have a plan for what they're moving forward to. So one of the things that we see often is when I go into an organization, I say, let's take a look at how you're doing. Let's debrief. So we use some of the principles of being a fighter pilot, and we say, let's look at the end backwards. And I say, imagine that we started the project and we go back to the beginning. Tell me what the results you hoped to achieve were. What's the objective? What's the outcome? And I get a smorgasbord of, project engineers, leaders, site leads, the CEO, and everybody tells me a different outcome. And that analogy there is it's no different than a rowboat with a rudder that continually changes and everybody trying to grab bites of the water and pulling in different directions. Vice, starting with an endpoint, whether or not it's unrealistic or not, that's the bigger chances component of this. If everybody's swimming in the right direction, you might as well go ahead and go for a loftier goal. It's just going to take you a little time to get there.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, how does that differ when, someone's coming into the market and saying, like, we want to take this product or service and we want to bring it out to the market? Or are you saying we want to get to this level in a revenue number, and then let's work backwards to find out what problems we have to solve to get there? Is that the comparison? Is that what you're...
Yeah, here's a good example.
Okay.
If you tell me that you want to be $1 billion company, is there any reason that the universe gives any cares in the world against whether or not you become $1 billion company?
None whatsoever.
There is no predispositions for this. There's no reason. There's no impediments. Now, there are steps. There are processes. There will be things that you will have to do and decide and choose along the way. But what we find out, and I'll give you a prime example. Someone said recently that they wanted to complete a project that was going to get them $1 million completion bonus if they could do it in 90 days. And I said, was everyone on the same page that you wanted to get the $1 million bonus? Yes. Okay, then why didn't we achieve it, right? If we had clarity in the outcomes, we have to go back to the processes and say, well, what did we need to do in order to achieve it? And the answer was, well, in order to do it in 90 days, we would have needed to have accelerated our normal processes. Okay, good. How would we have done that? Well, we needed to hire more people to do the things that we already knew how to do well. Good. How much would that have cost? Because if you were going for $1 million bonus on the project completion, if it cost you $1.2 million to get there, it's a poor ROI. If it cost you $400K to get there, it's a good ROI. So when we start out, we say we want to complete the project, get the $1 million bonus in the 90 days of allotted time. My question for you is, did you spend the $400,000? Because that's the concept that has to come first. If you want the thing at the end, you want the result, you have to be committed to taking the actions on the front side that you already know are going to get you there. And in this case, what do you think happened, Rigo?
They didn't make the spend because they weren't all aligned with that.
Fear, chicken shit. Because that $400,000 seemed like too big of an expenditure, too much of a risk, because if they missed the deadline, that $400,000 would have taken them below their operating budget. And the point is, that was their choice. Bigger chances, bigger opportunity, bigger risk, but you have to remain committed and work the plan.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. I don't care about your business, whether or not it succeeds or fails. I have no vested interest in it unless I'm putting money in it. Then I care.
Yeah, of course.
But the point is,
care.
the majority of entrepreneurs and leaders stand in their own way. If I want to have a better relationship with my family, there is no predisposition that says that I can't have it. I just usually get in my own way.
You're the one who has to make the right, not just better choices, but make the right choices and then stick with those choices. And all of the actions need to follow and just be in alignment with that choice, that, like in that example of having the $1 million bonus. It's like just not staying congruent with the decision.